Hi, I'm Stephanie and this is Homeschool on a Hill. I've decided I would do a quick curriculum video to show you what we're using this year. Actually, I had someone comment, Emily Smith, shout out to her, that she'd like to see our curriculum. First, I wanted to say that right now I have 3 children homeschooling. I have my daughter who is in 6th grade, 12 years old, and I have sons who are a sophomore and a senior. My sons are from my first marriage, and their dad is not really crazy about homeschooling. So the compromise has been that they actually do what's a public school online. It's called Connections Academy. And I would prefer to just homeschool them, but if this is the best option to make things work for our family, I'm fairly happy with it. I've heard about K-12, but I've heard bad things about it. I have no experience with K-12 though. But we actually have been pretty happy with Connections Academy. So that's what the boys are doing. So I won't be showing any of their actual curriculum today, but I am going to go through my 6th graders curriculum and what we kind of do on a day-to-day basis. So we do not have a strict schedule of we do history first and then we do English. We kind of just let it, organically flow. So the only thing that we tend to always do first is we have what we call morning time. Now around here that might be in the morning, or we might not start until the afternoon, or every once in a while in the evening. So it's loosely called morning time. But these are the things that we do during our morning time. We do a mother-daughter devotional, and this is by Dana Gresh, which I'm sure you've heard of. And it's just a quick little devotional with some scripture and then some little bonding time that you can talk about with your daughter. If you have a foil binding machine, and I love it, best thing I ever spent money on, absolutely love it. And I made her a little prayer journal. And let me find one she hasn't written in so you can't see in case she doesn't want that shared. Basically, I've made this form up. It's just a prayer journal. She does one on Mondays. So she'll start it on Monday. She can add to it during the week. And it's just to help her, as you can see, for ours, we have loved ones, family type things. We have thanks, so she gives thanks. These are our children that we sponsor through Compassion International, and so she can write just prayers for them. This is for the world and the country, and this is any personal needs that she might have of her own that she, wants to pray about this week. And it's just a good starting point to remind her to pray and to remind her not to forget something she might want to pray for. So she does that in the morning. She is in 6th grade, which I realize is a little late to be working on cursive, but we really haven't worked on it a lot. So she has a cursive practice that just has, one of the main things I do is I have her name, and she practices her name every day, and then I have pages in the back that are just the letters and some different words that she goes through. One kind of neat thing, I'll give a shout out to Confessions of a Homeschooler. I got this from her, and it is a year-long progression of them writing their name. So if you're not familiar with Confessions of a Homeschool, she does all kinds of things. She has the best blog and everything. She also does some things on YouTube. But I got this from her, and basically she writes her name in cursive once each month, and then you kind of see how she's progressing and how she's improving with it.
Still need to do it in October.
Which is kind of nice. We also have a free writing. I set a timer on my phone for 5 minutes, and she just writes. And it doesn't matter what she writes. She can write anything she wants, but it's just to help get her used to writing and writing more and getting her thoughts out. And I don't read it. It's her personal thing. She can just write whatever she wants, and as long as I see she's been writing, that's fine. I like that she got to decorate the cover. Sorry about that. She decorated the cover like a Pokemon because she likes Pokemon. This is also, they're free from Confessions of a Homeschooler. She has this printable, and it is just a little desk mate, and it shows all the cursive letters, how you form them. And I have a laminator, so I actually printed out on cardstock, and then I laminated it. And it's just a handy thing for my daughter because she does try to write more and more in cursive right now. And if she's forgetting a little bit what something is, then that lets her go back and see it. So that's basically our morning work, which I know sounds like a lot, but it doesn't take as long as it did to explain. Consuming is just a good way to start the morning. For science this year, we are using Christian Kids Explore Chemistry. I can't say enough good things about Christian Kids Explore. I use them, I think this is our 3rd year using a different book from them. The Christian Kids Explore Biology is wonderful. We did the earth science. This is the chemistry. I believe next year we may do physics. What I like about it is, obviously, you wouldn't want it if you're secular homeschooling, but if you are Christian homeschooling, this gives everything a God-focused and biblical base, but it does not leave out important information. So, not in chemistry necessarily, but for example, in like biology, it will discuss Darwin and it will discuss evolution and what those theories are. But it also kind of brings it back around to that's not what we think. We believe in creationism. But it does still inform the child about those things that are out there, which is important to me because I don't want her to be unaware that there are other viewpoints out there, even if I don't necessarily agree with those viewpoints. One of the other nice things about this, if you've never used them, is they will go through and they will have a unit or like a chapter, and then it'll have like a fun activity. And so it usually can be a little lab. It normally doesn't take things that you don't have around the house for the most. Actually, there have been a couple in here that I have not done their experiment, but I will try to link it below. I believe it is science, like Science for Girls or something like that. I'll get it and put it in the comments down below. But they have all these neat experiments that you can do. And even though it says Science for Girls, you could do it with boys. My boys loved it. We did this egg experiment where basically you use vinegar in a closed jar, and it dissolves the shell of the egg, but it leaves like the membrane. So you can take out and hold this egg that's basically raw, but you can hold it. The kids thought it was just great. Even my senior thought it was great. So that's a really good place. I dropped it by accident and splattered it all over my kitchen, but that's, the fun of homeschooling. Okay, we do geography. Now, we only do geography 2 days a week. I should say that we're doing an alternative kind of schedule this year. We do basic homeschooling Monday through Thursday. And then on Friday, we use it as a catch-up day. So if I got a little, in homeschool, you're never really necessarily behind. But if there's something I wanted to cover we didn't get to, I will fix that on that day. And then we have a couple specific things we do on Friday. So 2 days a week, on Tuesday and Thursday, we do geography. Now, I have made her a geography binder. Okay, sorry about that. So this is a geography binder that I made. And I did a few different things with this. I do unit studies on my own, like I'll come up with the curriculum for it on some things. And so for this, let me get to a page here. I went on to Crayola printables and printed out each state. So I did that. And then, if I can get the page turned, I also have these notebooking pages. And I'm not sure where I got the notebooking pages, but I will see if I can look that up and link that for you below too. And so they go through and they talk about the capital city and the abbreviation and all of these things. And then to go in here, they have state quarter, state bird, state flag, and state map. I found pictures, like one sheet of a picture of these, printed it on sticker paper, and then we just cut them out and she can stick them right on. Now, one thing we did too to help give us information and to go along with that is, it takes a little time, so you're going to want to plan this a little bit ahead. But I literally went through all 50 states, and you can go online and request a free travel guide. Now, I did have a couple states that it didn't show up, and I ended up printing some offline of that. But what's great about this is it tells her a little bit about it. The pictures are our main thing because she gets to go through and see what things look like in those states. And she cuts out some of her favorite pictures and glues them into her notebooking pages. So I'd highly recommend doing this. Now, I liked what we were doing, but I felt like we were kind of missing a little bit of not memorization of capitals and locations of states. So I went on teacherspayteachers.com and bought some state capital units, and I bound those, and then we go through and she learns 10 capitals and she learns the location of 10 states. Then you move on and you keep those 10, but you add a new 10, and you do that until you went through all 50. And so that seems to be working really well for us. I also, just in case we want to look, I have a nice atlas that has states and countries in it. I wanted to mention about that. We do 2 states a week, which obviously that would make it to get to 50 states. You would not have enough for your entire year. So the last like 11 weeks of the year, we're going to do world geography and stop on the states for a while. And I am sorry, I know this video is really long, and I apologize for that, but there's just a lot to cover, and I don't want to leave out the details you might want to know. Let's go with math. Math for my daughter is a little different. She's been diagnosed with dyscalculia. If you're not aware of what that is, sometimes it's called math dyslexia. It's basically very similar to dyslexia, but it's involving numbers, and they can't process numbers in the normal way that kids do. So I actually have this math at hand. I also do have, like for example, they have told us with dyscalculia, like the rote memorization of facts is almost impossible. She can get to the answer, but she can't just remember those numbers. So I also have this BJU math, which I like a lot, but with her learning disability, I kind of have to piece things together and help her till she understands. One thing that we use a lot is a small whiteboard, and that way she can erase and write, and she can practice XION, erasable pens. You are missing out. You can get them on Amazon. I think you can get like 5 colors for around $12 or $10. They're amazing. They erase. It's not like the old erasable pens of when I was a kid and in school. These are wonderful, so you really should check those out. Okay, I'm trying to wrap this up. So we do have a Bible curriculum, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, we do not like it. We have this from Positive Action Bible Curriculum, 6th grade, Winning the Race, and I've got the teacher manual and the student workbook, and we have both hated it. We did it for about 5 weeks, and I hated it, and I thought, I'm going to see, she doesn't seem like she likes it, and she hated it too. I don't want to say that it's a bad book. I think it would work great for some people. It just didn't fit our learning style, and we didn't like it. So right now we've put the Bible curriculum on hold. We're not really doing a dedicated Bible curriculum right now. So I need to work on that and figure out what we are going to do for that. That's one thing about homeschooling, though, especially if you're new to homeschooling. Just because you buy a curriculum, even if you spent quite a bit of money on it, if it's not working for your child, if it's not working for you, you would be better off. You can resell them on eBay a lot and recoup some of your money. I've done that several times. It's not worth making both of you miserable the entire year. It is not worth it. It's worth just starting over and getting something different. I tend to buy things online. Christian book distributors does let you peek into things a lot, which helps. But I got a book, which I love the book. It's one of the big Mystery of History books. But it just seemed a little too intense for when I had bought it. So we're kind of saving that. For our social studies, right now we have been doing unit studies that I create based on the American Girl books. So what we're on right now is Felicity. And Felicity is right around the Revolutionary War. So she's been reading the Felicity books, which we happen to own. We buy a lot of these books because she just loves them so much. Anyway, we've been going through it. She reads it. I print out worksheets from various websites, and she learns more about something that's going on in the book. Like, for example, for this, it's a lot about the Revolutionary War. If you haven't read those, after the chapters, in the end of each of those books, there is what they call looking back at whatever date it was, and it will tell you a lot of historical information at the end of the book. Okay, we'll start with spelling. We have spelling. The way we do our spelling, we do it 3 days a week, and what we do is I have a spelling program called Ultimate Spelling on the computer, but I just use the word list from it. I don't use the actual program this year. So I write the words down, and the first day she copies the words just to get, the habit of copying them. The second day I use this folder, and you can print this off of Pinterest. There's several of them on Pinterest, and then it tells you how to make it. But basically with this, here, let me flip it this way. But basically, sorry, the paper, I didn't realize the paper was upside down. Basically, you write down the word, and then she covers it, and she tries to write it. And then if she's still having trouble, she can cover it again and try to write it. And that's a very good way, but I haven't completely finished it yet that I need to work on. For English, one day a week we do grammar minutes. We do, technically they're listed under minutes instead of pages, so we do 3 minutes a time. Typically they take more than a minute though, but this takes us through some grammar, and then I just usually add and teach her some things along with it. And then on Fridays for fun, we have Mad Libs. On Fridays we have Mad Libs. And that just is good about, getting her with her parts of speech and things, but she has a really good and fun time with it, so we do that. We have a writing curriculum. This is spectrum writing. We're not very far into it. It's grade 6, but I am liking it. She is actually a struggling writer. Writing's not her favorite thing. It doesn't just come right to her. And I feel like this is helping kind of pull it out of her and helping her expand as a writer. So I'm pretty happy with that.
How about
Okay, so I think the only thing left at this point, last thing I want to mention is on Fridays, we go over and this is Sister Wendy's Story of Painting. I don't believe you can buy this anymore. I had to get it off eBay. It goes through, and it is the most in-depth with beautiful pictures and things, and we do like an art appreciation. I will say, I highly recommend this book. However, being art, there is some nudity. There are some questionable things in there. I believe it's all tasteful, and I'm okay with that, but I want you to be aware if you look at getting it. Besides art appreciation, she is doing photography, which the Photo Finch is where we bought this curriculum, and it's composition for elementary students. And she's just learning about how to take pictures and getting a lot of experience in that. And you can use your phone. You don't even have to have a camera if you don't want to. You can use the camera on your phone. I believe that is all of our subjects. I think that's it. Thank you. If you hung in this long, thank you. Like, subscribe, give me a comment. I'll give you a shout out in the next video. See y'all later.